Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so it is time to get going. All right, so hello, I'm Lin Lustig. I am going to be working on some art school homework, actually. And by art school, I mean kind of official. It's an online art school that's designed more specifically for just digital artists and all the fun nonsense that I am doing. So that is what I'm going to be working on as soon as I can get all of my tabs in order. Okay, there we go. So hello, how you guys doing? I see you hanging out there, Smith. I see you. And there we go. Now I think I have everything organized. All right, so this is going to be my reference picture. And it's just one I grabbed off Pinterest because I was like, this is cool. Why, hello, Ilt03. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm wearing some like actual Halloween swag. Yes, spooky season. I mean, it's the 24th September. I'm late. Oh, what am I talking about? Whoops, a daisy. So, gotta jump on that bandwagon. Okay. So first up, I need to do a basic sketch, not with a starry brush. I adjusted a bunch of my brushes over the last few days, so they're like all out of order again. It's just like, I don't, what am I doing? Ugh. If you are on Instagram at the moment, you probably saw on the stream that this is going to be my last Instagram drawing live. I can't figure out how to stop Instagram from crashing my program. So I'm gonna have to just not with the Instagram for a bit. And that's okay. So my plan here is to just get a quick kind of outline basically of this person. Let's see. Try and get the basic shapes down. I'm not too worried about being like perfect or anything. It's not what I'm practicing. Instead, I'm just wanting to get kind of the flow of the clothing and to see if I can recreate some of these really like epic, delightful folds. Because that is one of the things that I am studying in my art classes. It's just clothing and folds. And if you're on my Discord, I'll post the picture later. I actually made like a proper place where I can post all the things that I've been working on. Because I felt kind of bad, just like, I felt kind of like I was spamming my own channel. I was like, I don't know if anybody actually wants to see this stuff. So now I have it set up in a more optional manner. So you can see it or you don't have to. But just don't forget, you can jump on my Discord, of course, at any time. Hello, Tom Hardy and Jimmer Joe. One thing I've really noticed that's funny about the way that I draw, and I think this has to do in part because I have a tablet that's a little less mobile than like a sketch pad. I draw crooked. Like I constantly draw at the wrong angle. Like this. Oh, wrong button again. Come on, are you gonna? No. And having problems with my keyboard. Plug that in a second. Okay, this should actually tip quite a bit in the other direction. I mean, look at that, that's so bad. I don't know why I have found it particularly impossible to maintain some sort of equilibrium with my drawings. Like, and it happens on everything that I've done. Helene John is here. Hello. So I'm not entirely sure why that is a thing that my brain likes to do, but apparently drawing at a normal upright angle is just not something in the cards for me. I would totally rock a coat like this, by the way, not gonna lie. Like, someone buy this for me. This whole outfit, just put it on me. Jumping to Twitch. Oh, good, and Bex is also here. Hello, hello. Funny thing about the difference between Twitch and Instagram is that the delay is longer on Instagram. So when I see a comment, it's like a while after the person has sent it. Or oftentimes I'm inviting people in and being like, hello, and they've already left. Sure, there are lots that do that. Yeah, drawing at a weird angle. It's just a thing. Smith has returned. Hello, Mr. Smith. Anybody that has I feel slightly bad for anybody that has a name that has been used in media to a particular extent, because I will never be able to not think of those names. Like, there are actual people in this world named Harry Potter. I feel so sorry for them. It's like, they were here first. At least most of them were. So one thing I've noticed about my skills and their vague improvements is I am not horrible at drawing from a reference. Like, this is by no means perfect. Her legs are too long. Like, that's a bit too long. But at the same time, like, she's just a bit bigger over here, honestly. Actually, let's see. Keyboard, you are driving me crazy. You're killing me, Smalls. Okay, let's see if that gives some improved usability here. So I use all these key shortcuts and it's just like... So, yeah, definitely just bigger than the actual image overall, which is not an issue. But let's... Yep. Let's experiment. Okay, so I shrunk it down a little bit. And then, will you stop with the being shortcuts. See if it still hadn't tipped it enough. But I mean, honestly, that lines up pretty good. What, the hand's a little far down? Do I have that arranged so you can actually see that on Instagram, hopefully? But I've been like very surprised by this lately with how close I am on actually getting certain things lined up. And this is me drawing it bigger than what I was actually seeing. But you can see I made the pant leg way too long. So I think I will go ahead and adjust that. It's about there. But, I mean, I don't know, I'm not mad about that. Like, obviously the coat comes out a little bit further. Like, there are parts that are off, but not by much. However, I'm gonna make it big again, because I can. That's right. Thank you for the respect on that. And Evil Captain Jack, hello, it has been a bit. How are you doing? Okay, so Smith, you usually trace out key features and then fill in the details later. Yeah, that's not a bad way of doing it either. I started doing this side by side because I've been doing some art studies on like looking at somebody else's art and then making a facsimile of it without trying to like copy or trace directly. And that's been interesting homework. Not something that I can really post. I might post some of that kind of stuff in Discord because it's just the Discord, but I feel kind of funny doing studies of someone else's art and be like, here's their art that I stole for this. Like, am I AI now? I don't even know. But seriously, someone buy me this outfit. Why does it kind of look like she's carrying a birdhouse? Like, it doesn't look like a birdhouse. on the image. It does when I'm drawing it though. There, totally carrying a birdhouse. Okay, since I know I didn't get this flipped out quite far enough, I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little more oomph. Okay, shoe lip comes kind of like that. Well, I am pleased to say that I did a bunch of work on book 3 today of my delightful Ridiculous Pirates, and had some like fun new kind of revelations. So I got to really play with some of the it's a lot of buttons to have on pants. Like, it's nice that those aren't buttons to actually like lace up her pants, but that's a lot of buttons. And some kind of cool brooch thing. Right. So I, yes, worked on book 3, got some fun little epiphanies in to help improve the flow, and I think also just bring a bit more cohesion to the plot overall. It's kind of funny, I thought the plot of this book was actually a bit different than it was, but it turned out that I was trying to fit a different plot in with what actually needed to be said in this book. And so I'm like doing a bunch of edits. It happens sometimes when I'm thinking too much about plot up front, because it's just like I forget that is not actually the main part of the book sometimes. It's easy to do. You get lost in it because like you do still need a decent plot. Okay, so let's do a larger version of this. Oh, I also need to include her hair. Actually, I can't tell if that's hair or earrings down at the lower part. That's fine. Gonna leave it. I also like this because I can be as sketchy as I want. Hey, hey, sketchy person. Yeah, I actually even had a joint writing time today with a friend of mine in New York, and so that was fun. It's easier to get with people in New York time because that's only a 6-hour difference instead of the 9-hour difference that I'm somewhat accustomed to with West Coast. Which has brought me up to like, I want to do a midday stream, not necessarily only evening. I think the midday works fine. Midday for the States. I think it works fine when I am streaming it on Sundays because that's nice, like mellow. Like nobody's too stressed out on Sunday, hopefully. I know that's not actually true, but that's the vibe we're going for. It's not too stressed. And I just think it's easier for people to tune in at whatever the oddball time is that I post. Not quite as true on Wednesdays. I think Wednesdays are trickier for people to make. I was thinking of streaming instead Wednesdays at, because I don't know, because then like everybody that's here on this time zone also will be midday. Time zones are the worst. This was so much easier when I was in the States and only worried about streaming to the States. Oh well. I do very much want to be able to include everyone and have the different time zones, but I just don't know how to find a good time where everyone can make it. I really hate noses from the front perspective. It's like noses are kind of fun and elegant when you drawing them any other angle. The front, nope. Screw that angle. See, and there I go drawing sideways again, or sideways, angled. All right, so Eel Captain Jacked. Jacked. Apparently you're Captain Jacked now. You're writing up a schedule at your school right now, trying to listen in, but you have terrible service and you get every 12th word. I'm so sorry. Lin Lustig Mad Libs. It'd be a terrible game. But I like the idea. Doesn't help that. Forget that my camera wiggles if I'm too intense on the tablet here. Pretty sure that was the only downside of getting this cool big arm to hold my monitor in place. Oof, that's a terrible face. My goodness. Not important. I should probably do a face study at some point. So I feel like the hair is a little flat. Let's just pull that out a bit. All right. Sorry, very pretty person. I made you look not as pretty. Okay, but the point is the clothing, not the model. All right, so first thing first is to zoom out a fairways. And nope, I lied. First thing is not that. First thing is I need to make some kind of pseudo solid line art to actually fill in. Otherwise my flats are going to go all wonky. Has anybody read anything good lately? I've been enjoying webcomics, which I'm sure you are shocked to learn. This is a little odd. How is this? Okay, so that's the inner lining of the coat folding out. Is that how that works? Do that with painting. Get the basics, get the basics. I have to talk to myself a lot through this or I will get very like caught in the weeds, if that makes sense to any of you, because like it's so easy for me to just kind of keep going and not pay attention to what my actual goal is. Definitely not a straight line on there. So for my art school, there's a big Discord where you can turn in your assignments if you are so inclined. And we just, we have a bunch of homework. Everyone's working at their own pace and is on different terms. And that's all fine and dandy. But every time I see other people post on there, I'm just like, I never want to show any of you my artwork ever because you are all so good. It's just like, I do not feel like I belong. Okay, that's all just very dark anyway, so chances of really spotting that, not great. What is on your... Can't tell, making it up. Bing. Of course you have a bunch of jewelry. Can't tell what half of that is. Tell what's going on in this. Whatever, make it a birdhouse. Make it my own thing, it's fine. Nobody cares about the birdhouse. Okay. So I think for the most part that's connected the lines. Let's do a bit more stylization on the hair here. Okay. Generic outline. I forgot a hand. I was gonna declare it done, but no, had to forget to draw a hand. Okay. So her pants are a bit of a teal. They're fairly dark. Oh, come on. Sorry, I forgot to set my reference layer. And then there's also the outside of the coat. That's there. This whole side we're going to go ahead and hold off on because that's going to be basically black. You know what? Why not? this like under area through here and through some paints. This is just me trying to identify where like the darkest shadows are and some of the base colors, because this here, this is going to be kind of a magenta. Not quite right, but it's not terrible. It's an inside print. Right, her shirt is a lighter teal. I want to start with something a little darker. So when I'm doing clothing, trying to get kind of this medium tone down, a little darker, or like slightly darker than medium tone, because I'm trying to then paint in the light color, like the painting the creases in the clothing. Oh wait, that's part of her shirt, not that. Supposed to be doing this practice like every day, but it takes a minute. I have other art things I want to work on. I'm actually thinking of doing Drawtober, not Inktober. And I'm debating trying to make everything either related to my book or related to some like new original characters that I would potentially use for like a webcomic or something. Not entirely sure. But regardless, I definitely need to come up with some new story bits, and character design is really interesting, although I don't have a good grasp of it. I keep trying to make things look too correct and not willing to like push on what's seen. So, you know, like mess with the proportions and more shape language and bits and bobs like that. Okay, so I am intrigued by her shirt. This could be interesting. Nope, don't start too small. Okay. Debating if I actually want to do it the way that the instructor taught me or the way that I learned from a comic book artist on this. Probably the way the instructor actually taught me. Okay. In that case, we need a nice big soft brush, not that big. And we're just going to start painting on some shadows wherever there happens to be. Helps if I have the opacity up. just identifying larger swaths of shadow. So although I've gone through the lessons on clothing, one thing that constantly throws me is figuring out how the creases will break. So if you are drawing a crease between two tension points, and if there is a struggle between two of the strong tension points, your fabric, the line for the crease will break and get a little funky. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how the mechanics of that works. Like, clearly I understand what causes it, but I cannot figure out how to make it do the thing. Clothes terrify you? That's why you're a landscape artist. Ooh, landscapes terrify me, man. There's so much detail. I get very overwhelmed if I have to really focus in, I guess, on a bunch of trees. How do you draw a bunch of trees? There's so many. I found clothes really aren't too bad if I'm treating them as a painting. If I am trying to do it as a drawing, I get a little more lost in the weeds. That's definitely not supposed to be there. Like her shirt's gonna be really complicated for my brain. It's a lot of wrinkles in a small space. So basically, we're gonna do that first. Sorry, I did not realize this takes quite as much concentration as it does. I was like, homework, that would be a great thing to do. Was it? And there is this weird little floppy thing right here. here is wrong. This should come up. Kind of disappear behind this wibble wobble. See, like, I don't necessarily understand why there's this kind of like teardrop shape here. Like, definitely struggling to blend that part. Yeah, I'm not getting the shape right over on the far side. Okay, so what am I missing here? Part of it, I think, is also the shape of the coat. I have it flaring out too far. And this is why my homework takes me forever. Either too much of a perfectionist, or I'm just darn slow. Okay, let's go for... Alright. Hey, Big Blue Ox made it! Actually, I was gonna make fun of your name earlier. But I won't do that now that you're here. Alright, if I was perfect as took 0 time, I wouldn't be learning. Fair point. You've made lots of mistakes and therapy. I respect that. I, too, have made mistakes in therapy. It's a good combination. Yeah, how fabric breaks. Gonna be a mystery for me. The neck portion is almost entirely in the dark. All right, but the trick is to zoom out and determine whether or not it looks even remotely like the thing. And I would say, other than being shinier than the thing, it's not too bonkers. We are not having contests about who can make who cry the best. Shiny is good. That's a shirt. Aw, yeah. And that's how you paint some shirt. I wanted to actually get started on the cool thing down there, but I feel like I need to do the pants next. Button, who's got the button? Deal with the button later. At least you guys get to see the funny faces I make when I'm concentrating. There is no camel toe. Or moose knuckle. Okay, now let's bring in some light color. Oh wow, what did I just do? I have no idea what I hit to make it do that. Wait, you actually turn on the big light and blind yourself. So true, so true. I know, you guys get modded for funny things. Like, sorry, yeah. Get in trouble for doing ridiculous things, guys. Oh, I just seam in the coat there that I did not draw. That's fine. Hey, could one of you switch back to Instagram really quick and see if my video is still playing there? It looks like I froze, but I seem to be doing okay still on Twitch. Just in case. Otherwise, like I said, it's going to be my last time on... Oh, it's working? Okay, thank you, Smith. Appreciate that. Well, at least on my side of things, that froze. But, oh, man, Instagram gives me more grief, I swear. More green tealy? I think that's right. Quite the right color, but it's okay. Definitely not. Don't feel like this is blending as well on the pants. I don't think I'm getting quite the right like texture. I mean, they're very sleek pants, so I'm not crazy, but it's too light. Okay, I feel like blending that a bit at least gave it a little more of the oomph. These pants have softer gradients than I originally thought. Okay, I do want to try and capture this wrinkle right here. How do you work? I feel like with the pants painting, the shadow actually is working a little better for me to create the actual distinctions here. It's also just hard to identify where truly the light is on these. I don't know. Brain is just like, what are you doing? I don't know, brain. I don't know. But I do know I'm not going to mess with the pants too much longer because they're going to be what they're going to be. Besides, they generally look fabric-ish. It's fine. Oh, okay, what happened? Sorry, I got distracted. The sheen feels right for the blouse, but not the pants. Yeah, I agree. Held message. Who's bullying? Pay you space bucks. I'm gonna let you pay space bucks. Give her a Joker face. I mean, I could pull up some nice references of Joker and just go for it. I was watching a cool thing about The Dark Knight today, actually. So I go on YouTube and I watch all these different like story breakdowns and ways that certain stories that didn't quite hit could then have been adjusted so that they like hit really hard. It was talking a bunch about theme and how a lot of discussions around theme tends to be very vague and honestly not helpful at all. And it reminded me in tandem with another video essay I was watching on philosophical stakes in your book, and they kind of go hand in hand. Sorry. So I was quite fascinated by it. And it was talking about The Dark Knight versus The Dark Knight Rises. Is that the third one? And why The Dark Knight hits so hard and so effectively, whereas The Dark Knight Rises kind of missed. How many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jeez. Now you come over the crease. Whatever, I want my normal brush for this. Oh, you love watching comics explained. Ooh. Ooh. So, currently running Absolute series with newly reimagined origin stories for all the popular DC characters. That's fun. Yeah. They shouldn't have put Batman in a prison pit. Yeah, that seemed kind of unnecessary. Absolute super nice. Where do I get that? Where do I watch this? What? Who, now what? Buttons do start higher up. What universe comic series? Have they adapt this to animated? Ooh, man, yeah, I do love a good animated series. Actually, I need you to be a bit darker, but that's fine. Not the shiny brush, thank you. All right, whatever that decoration is good enough. Okay, so we're talking about Batman. I have heard, and I'm sad to say that I have not yet watched, that Lego Batman is like the most accurate to the comics version of like how Batman acts and is like talks and stuff. I've not yet seen it, so I cannot say for sure. However, I am fascinated and really looking forward to watching it. Lego Batman was wacky. I mean, I like the Lego movies. Or the Lego movie was quite hilarious. And wow, I got that so wrong. I don't even know how I did that. That's fine. Fix it in post. Oh. It never happened. Okay. What? A DC character that's fallible? That seems ridiculous. I'm going to guess several of you, if not all of you, watched the newest Superman, which I finally watched. That was an interesting take. I liked Lex Luthor in part because they made him seem a little like he would be a proper, very intelligent villain. It's an interesting concept that he would have memorized all of his moves, basically, and attacked him that way. There's quite the dark spot right there. What are you doing? It's one of those weird breaks that I don't understand. Oh, wow, you guys got to the theater for it? Nice. I am so behind. Granted, going to the theaters here is not super fun. There's too many subtitles and they get very distracting. And like, I don't mind watching a movie with subtitles. That's not the problem. The problem is when there's like 3 sets of them. If they're taking up that much of the screen, it's like, meh, maybe not. The other one I need to see is Fantastic Four still. It hasn't come out yet on streaming. There's this interesting, like, wrinkle. Don't know why you're there, but sure. Okay, zoom out. That's not looking terrible. I'm not overly mad about this. Still a weird. How does that? It's just a weird little crease. That does not look like a little crease right here because I. Oh, goodness, I went over on time. Hey. Looks pretty good, thank you. This is my homework. Now, of course, if I were... Oh, you can... Flats, the painted part. Didn't really get to any of the shiny red velvety stuff. But, it's okay. It's just some... little shiny bits here and there. But now I'm pretty proud of how the like pant cloak bits came in. I really don't know how to capture texture, is not quite the right word, but maybe texture is the right word because it all looks very flat and smooth and kind of fuzzy. Oh, velvet's super weird. I don't even know. Oh, I only want... Why are you doing it on the whole thing? I don't want the whole thing done. Just kind of debating if I like mess with the After Effects, but see, I went too bright on the like individual wrinkle lines, and actually probably on the shirt overall. But I'd need to like tone those down. See, that took out the definition though. Still bright, but whatever. Okay. Oh, I think that is going to be me for the night. I think it looks pretty cool. This ridiculous homework stuff is a fair amount of work, but I mean, I did that in what, hour 15? Oh, excuse me. So, not the worst by any means. Happy spooky season, everybody. Wait, hair out of the way. I like broke out my proper season sweater since it's actually gotten kind of chilly lately. And by chilly, I mean it dropped under 75 finally. A lot of progress and looks amazing. Thank you. Yeah, the painting, looking at things like this as painting and not lines really makes a difference in my brain and makes it much easier to approach. Now, there are still issues. I can never quite get things as sharp, I feel like. And, you know, that's a lot of the following the lines of the shadow and the light, and it's just... But, yeah, so thank you very much for joining me today. Glad I got to do this. A reminder on Instagram, this is my last art live on Instagram because it keeps crashing my program. So, Instagram. Plus my mental health, I think, is going to do a bit better if I step back from Instagram for a while. Which sucks for my career, but is better for my, you know, existence. But, what is, I don't need that. Deal with that. Block that thing. Beyond spam. Yep, I would very much. How do I do that from here? Sorry, I have the chat box in a different thing. Let's see here. And sorry, got distracted. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. Thank you very much for stopping by. And I will be continuing my weekly drawings on Twitch. So make sure you pop over there, the chibi author Lin Lustig, and come play with us, Danny. All right. I'll see you guys later. So long, farewell, I'll read us and good night.